So welcome to another video of Chemo topic, and in this video we are going to discuss about a basic concept of organic chemistry, that different kind of projections. Like you have already known that there are different such kind of projections. There are basically four or five kind of projections where we see the molecule. So basically we are going to see the molecule from the basic part and try to interconvert between the projections, and I will tell you the grassroots level of the organic chemistry, as well as how to visualize the molecule and then do the assignments, or and at the last of the in the end of the lecture, I am going to give you the trick as well. So let's discuss about different kinds of projections. So basically, okay, so basically projections are, if I talk about projections, so projections in organic chemistry is basically how we see the molecule. Okay, so projections means how we see the molecule. So let's start with basic projection and then we will classify. So you all know about the tetrahedral geometry, right? Let's suppose it is a tetrahedral geometry, while this is Cl, this is F, Br, and I. Okay. So if you know about the tetrahedral geometry, okay, so these two bonds, this CCl bond and CCF bonds, are lying on the plane. So they are on the plane, right? They are on the plane. Whereas this bromine atom, you are seeing this is above the plane. I will tell about what does that mean above the plane. This is above the plane. And if we talk about the iodine atom, this is below the plane. Below the plane. Okay. So let's try to visualize it. Okay. So this is a kind of tetrahedral geometry, as you can see over here. Let's suppose this is Cl atom. At the top, you are seeing this is Cl atom. Now we have to put Cl and F on the plane. So let's assume that this is Cl atom, this red one, and this blue one is the fluorine atom. So we can see that this one, this Cl and this fluorine, is lying on the plane like this one. This is the plane which is bisecting these two bonds. That is basically, you can see over here that this plane, and for that plane, this is out of the plane, this orange one is out of the plane, and this blue one is out of the plane if we consider this plane. Okay, now let's rotate this one. Now you know that we are considering this is as Cl and this bond as Cf bond. So Cl and F are lying in this plane only, this plane. So for that plane, now you are seeing this orange bond is out of the plane, but it is towards you, right? If we consider this is as a plane, then this bond is towards you. So basically this is the bromine atom, which we have denoted as the wedge. So this type of notation, this is called wedge notation. Okay, this is called wedge. And another one, that this one is towards you, this chlorine and this fluorine is on the plane, this is towards you, so basically this is bromine. And another bond, that is this one, you can see. Okay, so this is towards you, and this one, this bond is away from you. Yeah, so this is above the plane and this is below the plane. Of which plane? That plane which is consisting these two bonds, that is CL CF bonds. This CBr bond is out of the plane, that is towards you, and this is the CI bond, that is below the plane or away from you. And so this type of thing, it is called dash. Okay, So dash means, so wedge means above the plane. So wedge means above, okay, and dash means below. Fine. So wedge means above the plane. That is, to be precise, we can write over here that it is towards you, right? It is towards you. It is towards you, and it is away from you. So it is away from you. And as we are denoting this above the plane and below the plane as wedge and dash, so this type of notation, so this type of projection, I would say, this type of projection is called wedge dash representation. Or we can say that this type of representation of a tetrahedral geometry, so this is not a projection. The projection will be called flying wedge, okay? We will discuss it later on. But this type of representation, we are representing a tetrahedral molecule in dash and wedge. So this type of representation is called wedge dash representation. Okay. Is it clear that we have learned how to see tetrahedral? There are two bonds which lie on the plane, that is the CCl and CF bond. One is above the plane, that is towards you, that is the CBr bond, and one is below the plane, that is away from you. In this case, this is Ci bond. Okay. So let's classify this one. Fine. Okay. So let's classify our projection and how many projection we have to know about it. Okay. Projections. So there are three-dimensional projections, which are, so firstly we will discuss about flying wedge projection. Let's classify it like this one. Okay. So first one is flying wedge projection. Flying wedge projection. Second three-dimensional projection will be show horse. Show horse projection. Third one will be Newman projection, and another two-dimensional projection will be there, which is called Fisher projection, and it is very important in case of RS nomenclature. We will learn about that as well. So we need to understand these four projections. Okay, and the main thing is to interconvert in between these two, this flying wedge projection, and this one is Fisher projection. So we have to learn how to interconvert between both of them. And if I designate it as a dimension, this is the two-dimensional representation, and these all are three-dimensional representation. Okay, and this three-dimensional representation is basically for show horse. It is side view. We will see what is side view and all. Fine. So let's start with the flying wedge representation. So let me give a idea. So flying wedge representation we have already seen in case of tetrahedral molecule, that dash wedge representation was the flying wedge projection. Okay, so flying wedge is the projection and dash wedge was the representation. Okay, so Let's suppose this is CH3, C, and this is Br. Okay, this is ethyl, Et, and the below the plane is hydrogen molecule. So the C and methyl bond and C-Br bonds are on the plane. C-ethyl bond is above the plane, we can see, and CH bond is below the plane. Okay, so this is called flying wedge projection. Now let's understand what is this. Newman we will talk about later on. Okay, Newman we will talk about in the later discussion. We are mainly focused on flying wedge and Fisher projection and somewhat about the Sohor's one. So in the Fisher projection, this projection will look like this one. So we have to represent this flying wedge into a two-dimensional paper, because we can see that if we are considering above the plane and below the plane, then it must be a 3D projection. So we have to convert it in a 2D way. So the projection will look like this one, ethyl and H. Okay, so this is a 2D projection, and this molecule is same, and we will learn how to interconvert it in between them, that how I have converted this structure to its 2D projection, that is the Fisher projection. Okay, main thing we have to know about the Fisher projection, I will tell why it is important. So Fisher projection is basically eclipsed in nature. Okay, so this is eclipsed projection. And what is eclipsed? So we will talk later on. Let's now discuss about the show horse. Show horse look like this one. We will take an example and we will discuss about this one. So this is show horse. This is one carbon. These are the side groups. This is another carbon, and these are the side groups. Okay. So these are the representations. So let's learn about the representations. First of all, okay. So let's see the flying wedge representation and try to interconvert between them, the flying wedge and the Fisher one. So flying wedge representation. So let take a molecule in a three-dimensional way. So CH3 ethyl are on the plane. Fine. This is the wedge, so this is above the plane, and this is the dash, so this is below the plane. Now let's try to look this tetrahedral very carefully. What will you see? So CH3 and ET will be on the plane. So let's move this one. Right. CH3 and ET. Okay, on the plane. Now this molecule is something look like this one, right? CH3 ethyl, CH3. So this bond is CH3 and ethyl are on the plane. Fine. This is Br towards you. This is AF away from you. Fine. So let's move this like this way. That means that CH3 and ET are on the plane. Okay, are on the plane. This was fluorine, so it goes in left hand side. This is the bromine, it goes right hand side. Let's discuss it another one, that this CH3 CCH3 bond and this CET bond are on the plane. Okay, this CH3 bond, this CET bond are on the plane. This is the CBr bond above the plane. This is the CF bond below the plane. Now you are trying to look at this molecule from this angle. So this is the CCH3 CET. You can't look it. Okay, so CCH3 CET, and this was the CBr. This is CF. Now we are trying to make a 2D projection. So for that reason we have to bend it down. So we can see that CCH3 and CET are forming a linear type of geometry, where the below the plane was fluorine. This was the fluorine. So below the plane goes to the left hand side, and above the plane goes to the right hand side. Is it clear? Okay, let's try to draw this one. So I am trying to say you can look from this angle. Okay, so your eyes are in this side. You are standing over here. So you can see that the CH3 will be in your eyesight. Okay, so this is the CH3 and this is the ethyl, and we have to just draw the projection. So this is the thing you will see, that CH3 in our eyesight and the bottom one will be ET. Now the if you are seeing this one, so you are standing over like this. Let's try to make, this is your left hand, this is your right hand, these are your legs. Okay, fine. So you are seeing this one, CH3ET, like this. Now this is above the plane, right? This is above the plane. This is above the plane, CBR. Now this above the plane is basically in front of your left hand side. Can you imagine it? That CBR is coming out of the plane, and this guy who is looking, this molecule from this end, having his left hand side towards the above the plane molecule. So the projection will look like this one, and the left hand side will consist Br atom, and the right hand side will contain the fluorine atom, and the body of that person will contain CH3C CET bond. Fine. Left hand side Br and right hand side F. Is it clear? Again, let's discuss another molecule, then it will be more clear to you guys. So let's take Cl C hydrogen. Okay, methyl fluorine. Okay, now this guy is seeing this molecule from this side. The same guy, let's make his left hand side like this one, right hand like this one. So he's standing like this one. Okay, now what he will see, that in front of him his body is lying over this bond. Let me look whether I have a highlighter or not. Okay, so this is the highlighter. Okay, so we can see that his body, like this one, his body is lying over this one, right? CCl and CH bond. Is it clear? And his left hand side, okay, so that will be enough. So this CCl and this CH bond are lying across his body. Okay, across his body line. His right hand side will face the below the plane fluorine. Is it clear? So he is standing over like this. His body is seeing that Cl is over here. This is the Cl molecule, and this is the CH molecule. Okay, so this is the Cl molecule, like this one. Let's suppose this is ClCH. So my body is lying over here, and I am seeing this CCl and this CH. Now my right hand side, my right hand will see this bond, and my left hand side will see this bond. Okay, so similar like that, his right hand side, his right hand will see this fluorine atom, and his left hand will see this above the plane methyl atom. Okay, so let's draw this one. Okay, so it will look like Cl and H on his body line, and the right hand side is seeing the below the plane fluorine, and the left hand side is seeing the above the plane methyl. Okay, so this way we have to interconvert between the flying wedge representation. And what is this representation? This is the 2D representation, and we have talked earlier, we have discussed it, that this representation, this projection, okay, this is not representation, this is projection. So this projection is called flying wedge, and this projection, this 2D projection, is called Fisher projection. This is called Fisher projection. Is it clear? Now let's see the trick. Okay, what will be the trick? So let's draw a flying wedge representation. You can visualize like this way. This was also very easy. Okay, now what we'll have to do, what you will have to do, that basically the atoms which are on the plane, we have discussed this plane, and this plane is basically on the plane. We have to just make them like this one. Okay, so we have to extend it in a linear fashion. So this ch3, we write more clear. So this is not ch3. Let change it. Let's draw it as fluorine. Okay, so we have to change it. We have to look upon the on the plane atoms, and we have to make it in a linear way. Now if I try to make it a linear way, let's suppose we have to think like this way. So we are just making this one as linear. You can see it, this CCHC and CF, we have to do it a linear way, and for that these two substituents, this above and below, for this linear molecules, for this linearity, this above the plane and below the plane is on the left hand side. Is it clear? Again, let's look at this molecule, that this CH3 and this CF are on the plane, and for this on the plane moiety, this above the plane and below the plane is residing left hand side. Fine, this is the left hand side position. So we can say that this one, so this one is residing as left hand side position. So we have to change the direction of the wedge atom. So this is the rule. We have to change the direction. We have to change the direction of wedge atom. So what is the wedge atom? This ethyl is the wedge atom, above the plane atom, whatever you say it, wedge atom or above the plane. So whatever atom will be present in the above the plane, we have to change the direction. So we know that upon doing the linearity, that this above the plane and below the plane are residing in the left hand side. So after we have to put it over here, then as it is left hand side, this is above the plane, we have to put it in the right hand side like this one, and we have to keep the below the plane as it is it clear? So this is the rule, and we will see some of the examples regarding that as well. So this is the rule. Okay, so let let's just draw a circle over here. So we this is the rule, that we have to change the direction of the wedge atom. Okay, so it is in the left hand side. In the Fisher projection, we have to keep it in the right hand side. Fine, let's discuss some of the molecule. So this is the ethyl carbon. Let's make it something like this, I and fluorine. So we can see this is a which type of projection? This is a flying wedge projection, and we have to convert it to the Fisher projection. So we have to convert it. Now we have to look about this substituent which are on the plane at first. So ethyl and B are on the plane, and we can just write it like this way, ethyl and bromine. Okay, fine. Now if we try to make the linearity among this on the plane moiety like this one, you can see this above the plane, this above the plane, and this below the plane molecules, this below the plane atoms are basically lying in the right hand side, right? So this is the on the plane and this is the right hand side. You can see this is the right hand side, and so here these groups are present in the right hand side, but we just have to look about the above the plane atom. So this iodine is above the plane and which is residing on the right hand side. In Fisher projection we have to change the direction, so we have to keep it on the left hand side and we have to keep the fluorine as it is, okay, unchanged. Let's discuss about some of the molecule, it will be clear. So the rule is basically change the direction, change the direction of above the plane, mhm, above the plane atom. Okay, let's discuss some of the molecules then. So this is methyl CrC, ethyl hydrogen fluorine. Okay, next methyl C Cl Bri. Next methyl Br. Let's suppose this is hydrogen and this is bromine. Sorry, bromine is already there, so fluorine. Okay, let's try to solve these questions. Okay, very easy. We have to look first the atom which are lying on the plane, and if we try to interconvert it to the 2D form, so we have to write it over like this one, methyl and ethyl. Fine. Now we can see that the above the plane and below the plane moiety are on the left hand side of the concave. So this is the concave and it is in the left hand side. This is on the left hand side, so we have to change the direction of the above the plane group only. So the above the plane group is hydrogen and we have to change it to the right hand side. So this will be the hydrogen position and we have to keep the fluorine as it is. Fine, this will be the Fisher one. Let's look upon this molecule. So methyl and chlorine in the on the plane. So we have to just like this. Fine. Now let's see this. The methyl and chlorine, this concave and this above and below the plane is on the left hand side. Now it is clear, right? So the above the plane is on the left hand side, so we have to keep it on the right hand side. We have to change the direction of it. Fine. Now let's look about this question, that we have to keep this on the plane position in linear manner. So methyl and bromine. Okay, methyl and bromine. Now we can see this above the plane and below the plane are on the right hand side of the concave. Fine. So right hand side, this above the plane is on the right hand side, so we have to change the direction to the left hand side in the Fisher projection. So the hydrogen will be in the left hand side and the fluorine will be in the right hand side. So that's all in this video, and we will try to increase the carbon number because we are stick in this lecture we are stick to the C1 atom, that we can see that only one carbon is there. Okay, so in the next lecture we are discussing about this kind of molecule. There will be this kind of molecule. Okay, and then we will see the Shohorst projection and Newman projection, because in a single carbon molecule there will be no Shohorst projection. For that reason we have to draw a C2 molecule.